joined a little bit later with Alex Poltorak of the Urban Canopy, you guys. Hell yeah. He's going to be here a little bit later to talk about composting, but first, let's get into our main story. And today we're going to be talking about zoos, something that you mostly enjoy but aren't sure if you should, like porn or Jason Mraz. The debate over whether modern zoos are ethical has been raging amongst animal rights activists and shady circus ringleaders for decades. It most recently came into the spotlight in 2016 following the death of Harambe, the gorilla who was killed after dragging a child that entered his exhibit. Now, Harambe's death was very sad, not only for Harambe, but also for people who spent any amount of time around 9-year-olds for the next year. So, come on, 9-year-olds, show some respect! I also freak out when a child unexpectedly enters my home. Now, before tearing into this, I should say that zoos have definitely become more humane over the years, as research and public concern for animals has grown. In the 1980s, a study at the San Diego Zoo found that some animals had died from over-tranquilizing, malnutrition, and that some had suffered repeated injuries while being transported, which is terrible. So since then, many zoos have taken steps to improve conditions for animals. But, as we'll be discussing, being in captivity is almost always bad for animals. So then, what are the pro-zoo arguments? Well, it boils down chiefly to 3 things: conservation, education, and research. So first, let's talk about conservation. Some people believe that zoos are uniquely suited for conservation because they can propagate endangered species and then reintroduce them back into the wild. For example, thanks to the Phoenix Zoo, a breed of antelope called the Arabian oryx, which was originally hunted to the point of extinction several decades ago, is now off the endangered species list with a population of 1,000 living in the wild, which is so great because now it's hunting season. Breeding programs have also saved the European bison, the red wolf, the Oregon spotted frog, and Detective Pikachu from disappearing into obscurity. So thank you. But these success stories are few and far between. A 2011 study found that North American zoos invested less than 5% of their income in conservation. And worldwide, only 30 species of animals are being worked with for recovery. And of those 30 cases, most can't be reintroduced into the wild. Why? Well, they transmit disease to animals in the wild, and also because animals raised in captivity don't learn basic survival skills, like people born between 1984 and 1994. And worse than that, they often don't have a habitat to return to because, what am I saying? You know why.
Around 1 million species now face extinction, many within decades, because of humans. 3/4 of all the land on Earth has been significantly altered in just the past 50 years by humans.
That's right, guys. Counting Crows was right. We paved paradise and put up a parking lot. Oh, sorry, I'm receiving word that they're now called Counting Crow because their habitat was destroyed. R.I.P. Now, let's tackle the education portion of this. Now, zoos are often associated with field trips and learning and those cute little signs outside the enclosures where you learn things like, those raccoons aren't wearing masks, and shh, bats are sleeping, and display under renovation. However, according to a 2014 study, only 1/3 of kids learned something factual after visiting a zoo, and 15% of kids picked up incorrect information. Hashtag fake zoos. All right, finally, let's tackle research. Zoos were actually invented as research facilities, and today they often look into disease and studying animal behavior. For example, the Smithsonian's National Zoo is leading global research on the detection and treatment of the elephant herpes virus with the goal of developing an effective vaccine for both captive and wild elephants and one sick fuck. So there's that, but there's also some bad news because the 4,500 African elephants kept in zoos lived to around 16.9 years, while their counterparts on a nature preserve lived until 56 years. Being in captivity is bad for animals. Now, animals show the most evidence of stress and or psychological dysfunction in captivity. And if you were thinking, all right, maybe that's just the weak animals, you'd be wrong because it's literally lions, tigers, and bears. Oh shit! Now, since zoos can't fully replicate an animal's natural habitat, animals are limited in what they can do. They're unable to run, fly, choose a partner, date for a while, figure out it's not working, maybe decide to take a break, see what else is out there, feel lonely, then text them, you up, see if they respond. They do respond, then they go over there, then they hook up, then they realize, no, this was a huge mistake, then they go home, they feel bad, they feel lonely, they feel good, they delete Bumble, then they decide to stay single forever! Without being able to live their lives. Many animals begin to show symptoms of something that's literally called zoocosis, which includes swaying, self-mutilation, vomiting, and consuming excrement. Now, one polar bear named Gus, who showed signs of psychological distress and was subsequently nicknamed by some sick, clever man the bipolar bear, was actually prescribed Prozac. But there is hope. Now, thanks to research and activism, several zoos have decided to close their elephant exhibits, including the Detroit Zoo, which sent 2 elephants to a sanctuary. According to the zoo's director, just as polar bears don't thrive in hot climates, Asian elephants shouldn't have to suffer the winters of the North, because the North remembers and an elephant never forgets. But also, Denmark is in the process of making an innovative zoo without cages.
At the new Gives Good Zootopia, visitors can view the animals from mirrored pods and cable cars, or behold the lions from bunkers and hills, scope the pandas from behind bamboo screens, hide from bears in a stack of trees, and see the giraffes from holes in a hillside.
Swing by the monkeys on a zip line, ogle the eagles by being shot out of a cannon, inch past the iguanas underneath an invisibility cloak, spy the hippos doing that thing where you cover yourself in tree branches and sneak from spot to spot pretending you're a bush. Seriously though, I would go there because zoos like this one provide a good example for others to follow. But ultimately, the best way to save endangered species is by preserving their habitats and addressing the reasons that they are killed. There are organizations that work to preserve habitats and sanctuaries that rescue and care for exotic animals without selling them. Support those organizations, do your part to prevent climate change, and do anything David Attenborough tells you to do. Now, for more on animals in captivity, please help me welcome our special animal tricks trainer, Beth Kuhn. Hi, Beth.
Hi, Maggie. You can call me Buffalo Beth. Nope, I do not have an accent. I'm sorry, my name is Beth. And you're right, I did bring some pretty cool guests with me today, so I hope no one here is allergic to fun.
No, not allergic to fun, but super allergic to dogs, so hopefully...
Dogs are for plebeians, Maggie. I'm going to show you some animals that you don't see every day. My first guest today swings from tree branches in Brazil, is smart enough to use tools, and has the strongest tail in the animal kingdom, making him an excellent dancer.
Monkey! Oh my god, is it a monkey? Is it a monkey with you?
It's not a monkey, it's a spider monkey.
Oh.
Say hello to Peter.
God, I've always wanted to see a monkey dance. Okay, Beth, that is a stuffed animal of a sloth.
That's right, dance monkey, dance.
I thought you were like an animal.
I sure am, Maggie. And that's how I know that the spider monkeys do not like being held in captivity. They're more of a, I like to roam freely across the Brazilian jungle type, and less of a, I like to be an eccentric millionaire's pet or get medicines tested on me type. That's stuff that actually happens to monkeys in captivity, Maggie.
God, those poor monkeys. That's like a really big bummer.
Don't worry, Maggie. I brought something else sure to cheer you up.
Okay.
If you are ready enough.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Beware the Naja Naja. The Naja Naja is also known as the Indian cobra, is a 6-foot venomous snake from India whose bite can kill you in as little as 15 minutes. Common in Indian mythology, this snake is a favorite of snake charmers.
Oh my god, I'm so excited and also scared.
Now, obviously, it's completely unethical for me to make a dangerous snake in captivity perform tricks for you, so instead I brought the next best thing.
A less dangerous snake?
A jump rope! Now be careful, Maggie. I'm just gonna tie this around your neck.
No, Beth, what the hell are you doing? Beth, no.
Maggie, you're scaring the Naja Naja.
Beth, I thought there was gonna be like kind of some spectacle here with the animals.
Spectacle, yes. I have actually brought with me one of nature's most dangerous predators, the Lion King.
Oh my god, are you gonna have a lion juggle? Because that'd be like a dream of mine to see that happening.
Now this is a limited edition.
Okay.
And it really shows the beautiful mane of the lion.
Beth, that's a poster of The Lion King, the musical.
Wait, Maggie, don't move.
Why?
Oh, it's a jump rope. I'm so sorry. I forgot. I totally forgot. It's not a snake.
All right.
Whoa!
I think that's probably enough of the tricks.
No. Wait. I really do. I have one more.
Okay.
The Simicide is a small flightless parasite which feeds exclusively on the blood of warm-blooded animals, aka bedbugs.
I mean, yeah, it's empty. There's nothing in this box.
No, there is actually a bedbug in there. I'm trying to get rid of them.
What? Get them! Shut it! No. Shut the box! That's Beth Kuhn. Get out of here! Shut the box! Shut it!
We'll be right back.
We are here at Chicago's Navy Pier, home of the Ferris wheel, WBEZ, Chicago Shakespeare Theater, and known for tourists who've been tricked into believing that this is a beloved Chicago landmark. I'll let you in on a little secret. Real Chicagoans avoid this place like has-been 90s sitcom stars avoid vaccinating their children. Hello, I'm here with some everyday Americans, and I just want to ask them some questions about the 2020 presidential election. And so we've gotten some very scary news. There's a group that is responsible for the vast majority of mass shootings in America, and they are infiltrating our 2020 presidential election. Would you ever vote for one of their candidates?
Absolutely not.
So you wouldn't vote for a man? You know, men are responsible for the vast majority of mass shootings in this country, and this man right here would vote against his gender and would not vote for a man for president. Sean, we've heard that a group responsible for the majority of terrorism worldwide is sending a candidate for office in 2020 for the presidential election. What do you think about that?
I think that's terrible, and we shouldn't do that at all.
Yeah. So what if I told you that the people responsible for a majority of terrorism worldwide were men?
I'd believe you.
So you're saying a man shouldn't be president? And people are asking, should a woman be president? So then should people be asking, should a man be president?
Well, no, I think a woman would be good as a president, don't you?
I sure do. All right.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you think a woman could be president? Yes. Okay, sir. Why do you think a woman could be president?
Equal.
We should all be treated equally. Men are responsible for the majority of mass shootings worldwide. And these young ladies here are saying that men should not be president. Thank you so much, ladies. So we feel very comfortable. Do you think a woman could be president? Yes. Why?
Why not?
Because it's 2019 and why not? And he's a man himself and he wouldn't feel comfortable with it. Thank you so much. Your car smells good. Can you tell me, when did you come to this decision?
When you told me that there was a man,
Yeah,
there was
a group responsible for the vast majority of mass shootings in America. Sir, you look like a gentleman yourself. Why would you vote against your gender?
Oh man, I don't know. It seems like the right thing to do.
I got him, all right? Investigative journalism at its best, okay? And I didn't even study journalism. I studied theater. Don't let anyone tell you that a theater degree is not useful. You can trick white men into anything with a theater degree.
That means we need more men on our side in order to help us.
Come through.
Men make irrational decisions.
Do you believe that you need a penis to be president? Yeah, ex-boyfriend Jake. Irrational decisions like breaking up with me. Sure, the youth of America believe in change right here, 2020. All right, we've gotten kicked off of Navy Pier, so I'm recording from a hot dog stand because the government and the Navy do not want you to know the truth. In this completely validated study, the majority of Americans do not want to vote for a man in 2020. For the news with Maggie Smith, I'm Colette Gregory.
Thank you. Welcome back to the news. My guest tonight is the founder and CEO of the Urban Canopy. Please welcome Alex Poltorak, everybody. Alex. So, Alex, you created the Urban Canopy, and one of the things that Urban Canopy does is has the Compost Club here in Chicago.
That's right.
For people who might not know, why should we compost?
I mean, there's a lot of different reasons, but it's something that each of us can do to kind of help prevent global warming and the issues that we're facing and all the devastation that we've caused as humans, especially harking back to your episode earlier about endangered species and zoos and all that.
Yeah, totally true. And Urban Canopy has Compost Club. A lot of people might, when they think composting, you think like, oh great, I throw it into my yard or something. But we live in a city, AKA no yards, right? So what can you do in the city? Like how could you possibly be composting when you don't have a yard to throw something into a pile?
Sure, even here in the city there's a lot of diversity to where people live and how and stuff like that, whether it's high rises or they do have some backyard, just something small. So
Rich people.
there's a lot of people that do like backyard composting, but there's also worm bins you can have like in your home. There's lots of different like contraptions.
I'm just gonna stop you right there.
Yeah.
Worm bins?
Worm condos, yeah.
Worm condos. My question is, worm condos? Please explain. Please explain.
I have actually 2 of these in my home.
Whoa.
So it's just like a stackable bin system where you put a little bit of food every day and the worms kind of crawl up and eat it.
What?
And then
Is it like an ant farm, like you can see them?
Sort of like that, yep.
That's
You can
cool,
open it
guys.
up.
I want one. We're going to talk after the show. Great. Cool. So, yes, people are doing this, but then what can they? I stopped you in the middle of explaining. So, even if you're in a high rise, how do you compost?
Yeah, there's services like ours. You can have those worm bins in your high rise.
Sure.
There's even entire condo buildings that are now composting together. They have
I
one
thought
of
you were
our
going to say
bins.
there's entire condos of worms. Like, I was like, great.
Someday.
Great.
Someday.
There's entire condos that have compost bins, like a big trash bin for the whole building.
Yeah, similar to how people have trash. You have a trash bin in your home. You have a trash dumpster in your condo. Whatever people have, you can start replacing that with something different. Replace that with a personal compost bucket like this for yourself, and then we'll pick it up and compost it either at our farm on the south side or a larger compost facility. And some larger buildings have you can start replacing your dumpsters or minimizing your dumpsters, expanding your composting, expanding your recycling.
That's awesome. So we can basically throw our own compost into a bucket. You'll come grab it, take it away from us. We don't have to worry about it.
Exactly.
Then what happens to it?
So we take it either to our farm in Englewood on the south side where we do some of the composting. The majority actually goes to a large composting facility called Organics, a little farther on the south side.
Great, I love that. Now, you guys don't just do composting, you also do other things with Urban Canopy.
Yeah, we're
Tell
really
us about
quirky.
Yeah.
How much time do we have? So we have an indoor farm and an outdoor farm in back of the yards on the south side in Englewood. We grow wheatgrass for a bunch of juice bars all around the city. Our outdoor farm grows like 20, 30 different kinds of vegetables that we sell at farmers markets all over the place, delivered to our community supported agriculture members. We distribute to a lot of restaurants, and then the compost club. So it's like 6 different businesses.
Okay, great. So that's a lot. You basically literally built this from the ground up.
Sort of. There's
That was a pun.
That was a pun.
Thank you.
Took me a second. There's
the audience to give that what it deserved.
Get out of here! This is why I need writers. Yeah, great.
Yeah, there's a bunch of us. There's a big group of us now that our central vision of why we exist is how do we help create a sustainable and equitable food system, and it does require these different pieces to really work together to design something better and functional and effective for all of us.
Yeah. So how do you get involved in making dirt? Like, what's your story? Where does this come from?
The short version, long version.
Honestly, your pick, dealer's choice.
I'll go super fast. So I was previously an engineer and got kind of bored with that. Got an MBA and then didn't know what to do.
Not enough worms.
Not enough worms in my life. And I actually started a fellowship with Chicago Public Schools. And that was the first time that I heard that there's a lot of kids in Chicago that don't know where their next meal is coming from, facing a lot of food insecurity, violence, and a lot of other issues. And that has a dramatic impact on their educational outcomes. So once the fellowship ended, started the farm as a desire, as a goal to like, how do we help alleviate that? How do we work within communities, with communities, being part of the communities to design something better?
Alex, that is incredible. One last question here for you. If people in the audience or watching out here right now wanted to get involved with Urban Canopy or with Compost Club specifically, how do they do that?
It's easy to sign up on the website. We have these little things that we give out at farmers markets or to our members. Go to theurbancanopy.org and look up Compost Club or check out our CSA if you want food as well that your compost then helps to grow. And there's lots of different little ways that folks can get involved on their own. It's not just with us, but all of us working together to do our little piece. So get that worm bin. We'll talk about that.
Yeah,
the worm
we
condo.
will. I do use Compost Club. I've been using you guys for like 2 years.
That is exciting.
Hell yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, awesome.
But also visiting local farmers markets. There's a bunch of different resources regardless of where you're at. Eat less meat, eat more local. There's all kinds of stuff you can do with your food, your waste, your life.
That's true. I mean, aside from composting, you're so right.
Yes.
So much Alex, thank you so much for all your help. Guys, sign up and compost, do what you can. The earth is on fire. So, Alex Poltorak, everybody.